Hello, we are in day 9 of our morning warm-up and embodiment series, and I can't believe we're in day 9 already. That means that after this video, there's 3 more videos, 9 of 12. I can't believe it's gone so fast. Today, we're going to work with joint centration and then moving joint centration into kinetic movement. Joint centration is very supportive of the work that we've been building on in the last class and the class before that around spaciousness in the joints, as well as sequencing force through the body. So we're going to play with that today in some ways that I hope will be generative. This work is very supportive specifically for like long-term and ongoing mobility work, like awareness of body mobility. So I want to encourage us to relate to it from a place of like real gentleness and pleasure and curiosity, and exploring it in a way that feels like it just feels really good for you. Let's do it. Here we go. Okay, so we're going to begin sitting in a chair and sit in a way that feels comfortable for you. If you're sitting upright like this, that's fine, or you can relax further back. And so joint centration is where the bones in a particular joint are going to nest towards each other. So instead of being a little bit off kilter, they're going to sit right in their home. Joints are mirror images of each other. They go together, they fit together. And so there's ways where you can align your bones to be where the surfaces are fitting into each other's negative spaces. And there's ways that they can be kind of off. And so we're going to invite our joints not to squeeze together in a way that feels squishy or tight, but rather in a way that feels really like it allows for that openness and that possibility, that wobbling that we did in this last 2 weeks. So we'll start with the bones of the feet. You have lots of bones in your feet. So for a moment right now, invite the possibility that all of the bones of your feet can relax into nesting together. So just invite that possibility. It's not that they're pushing on each other in any kind of strain or tension. It's actually the opposite. They're relaxing into fitting together, nesting together into each other's little negative spaces. The concave and the convex are relaxing into space together inside all of the joints, the many, many bones in your feet, the toes, the arches of your feet, the ankles. And then bring your awareness to your knees. And same thing here, we're going to invite your knees, the knee moves roughly like this. We're going to invite the knees just to rest into a centrated, we're going to invite centration, nesting into the knees. And you might feel something with that cue. You might feel like a tingling or a little bit of heat or something like that. That is a similar feeling maybe to visualizing, but feeling it located in your body. Maybe in that place. Or you might not. It might just feel like words and thinking, and that's fine too. Let's next come to the femoral joint, which is where your femur bone, your thigh bone, comes into your pelvis. Ball and socket joint. It's pretty happy in this alignment, in this shape, in this orientation. It's pretty happy with the knees, with like in this kind of configuration. So let's invite the ball joint, the ball of your femoral head, to nest into the femoral socket inside your pelvis on both sides. You've got 2 of these. So just invite that feeling of like the ball resting in the ball-shaped hole. And then play with like relaxing your knees a little bit more open to the side, bringing your heels more together and relaxing your knees out to the side, and invite that same joint centration again in the femoral socket. So you're not squeezing anything, no? It's not about flexing or squeezing. It's actually relaxing, and relaxing in a way that involves moving toward. And then play with a different organization of your feet, maybe your feet farther apart. And notice, maybe doing a couple of experiments, just a different placement, and see, there'll be some ways that you feel like it'll just feel different if your feet are more wide or more narrow, inviting that centration. Typically, strong, straight parallel, it's a little bit harder to feel it from there. Most of us aren't a strong, straight parallel. That's not how most of our bodies are built. Okay, next let's notice the spine. You can give a little wobble to your spine and invite all of the bones in your spine, all the vertebra, and all of the connections to the ribs and the pelvis, just to centrate, move towards each other in a way that's filled with softness and filled with possibility. The possibility of movement, the joints nesting together, bones nesting together, facing each other. And then we'll come to the shoulders, specifically the arm as it connects to the shoulder. Similarly, a ball and socket joint here, similarly to the hip. So invite the arm, let's actually lift your arms up like this, in front of you, open, and invite the arm to nest into the shoulder girdle. Letting your muscles be soft, it's not about flexing, just letting the muscles be soft and inviting the arm to nest into the shoulder girdle. And then relax your arms down, and same thing, invite that nesting, that joint centration. And then lastly, let's come to your hands and give a little brushing of your hands, the palms of your hands together. And then place your hands wherever they're comfortable and invite the bones of your hands and all of the joints of your hands, many, many joints in your fingertips and your hands, just to centrate, to nest towards each other in a way that feels really soft and filled with possibility for movement. Relaxed, easy in the joints. Okay, from here we're going to come to standing. And let's start with a little swinging of the leg. So I'm letting my leg be floppy, and for me that means it's going to relax to a turned out position. I'm not going to correct it to parallel. For most of us, there'll be a bit of flopping into a little bit of an external rotation, which is not the same thing as a flexed, placed external rotation. It's soft, but on most of us, relaxed is a little bit turned out. So relax and find where that is for you, and take a little swing forward and back, and then switch sides, finding this relaxed, soft, floppy, open place, and take a little swing forward and back, and let the hip feel open. Invite your hip to feel open, and how big this is up to you. And also, if you want to have a hand on something to balance, you're welcome to do that. Okay. Now let's open up your arms, like a little bit open and in front of us. And take a bit of a swim here with maybe rolling your shoulders, or like cat pawing of the air. And in this movement through your shoulders, let's invite again your arms to feel that joint centration where the upper arm bone is relaxing into the shoulder girdle. The ball is nesting into its socket. And then we'll come back to the pelvis, and we're going to stand on one leg. And so if this is tricky to do and it's supportive to have something to put a hand on to find this balancing, please do. You can also use the back of a chair for something. But we're gonna stand on one foot and then stand like over it a little bit. So it's not like standing here and lifting my other leg up. I'm lifting up the weight of my pelvis and putting it down on that foot, which has me a little bit off kilter. And from here, I'm going to swing this leg, and I've got a bit more space. So here's me from the side. Here's me if I just lift my leg up. Here's me if I put my weight over that leg. So I'm just opening up a little bit more space here in this hip. And I'm going to swing this leg gently around, side to side, front to back, in little spatial circles, and invite a feeling of this femur bone, the thigh bone, to nest inside that ball and socket joint. And then we'll switch sides. So I'm standing on that foot, and then I'm gonna like pour my weight down over that foot so that it's not a straight line. It's not straight sideways. It's not forward. It's just like putting my weight down over that leg, which has me on a bit of a sort of a diagonal in between space. And here I'm going to swim this leg around and invite this centration, this joint centration of the leg bone moving into the socket and feeling really at home there. Okay, shake that out. And from here, we're going to come back to these little stamps, these presses that we did last class. These little stamps and presses. So just pushing your feet, like stamping, pressing the bottom of your feet into the floor and inviting the sensation to travel up. The information, actually, it's listening. The information that comes from the floor to travel up through your body. And then from this place of inviting that joint centration, the leg bone and the hips, from that place, let's come back into our sequencing that we did last week. So inviting the information from the floor to travel up through that joint that's inside its socket, for that information to easily transmit. The listening that's coming from the floor, the density of the floor is connecting into the density of the feet bones that have been invited to have centration. And that information is traveling up into the pelvis and up out elsewhere and up and back out into the sky. So finding that little stamp and that listening and that traveling up through the body. And from here, let's invite, as you stamp and sequence, let's invite maybe a bend in the knee as the information comes up. Wait for it, and there might be another bend that wants to follow. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. So there's this little delay as it travels up through the body, and then maybe another kind of swoop that happens down. And let's start to play now with amplifying this movement a little bit further out. From that place of listening to the floor, seeing if a bigger movement in the body starts to emerge. And if this feels like copy-pasted to you, if it feels like, oh, okay, I'm stamping and then I'm doing a shape with my upper body, just come back to that place of listening from the pelvis. And if it's starting to feel like, okay, I'm really feeling this, then seeing if there's some kind of amplification of the movement, like a wave that starts small and gets bigger as it progresses. Same thing here. This little growth of the movement that turns into an organic shape that emerges in the larger movement of the upper body from the floor. So it's coming right out of the floor, it's sequencing up through the body, through the joints, and through everything else. I hope that this has you feeling like really relaxed and like really grounded, and that I hope it's feeling really pleasurable and that you're indulging in the feeling of the simplicity of movement that is available to you from a place of like self-sovereignty, self-determination, and consent. That's what I hope this is doing for you. Okay, let's brush down the fronts of the legs. Oh yeah, brushing down, feeling the feet on the floor, maybe giving a little push of the feet into the floor and feeling that pooling and widening. And then do some squeezes with the fingertips down the front of the legs and down the sides of the legs. Do some little washing on your belly and some tapping on your lower back. Bring your fingertips up and tap on your bones of your chest and your collarbone. And then brush out your arms, including the hands, noticing the hands, brushing out the arms, inviting it to feel really good. Slide the skin on the back of your neck up into your hair with your hands, and then put your fingertips into your hair and wash your hair. Nice and soft. Tap on your forehead with your fingertips, tapping on your cheekbones and the bones of your face. Arms out, sense and feel the whole front of your body, all like lit up, like somebody turned on all the lights, softly awakened. And then notice your whole back body in space, vast. And then bend your knees and let the weight of your arms swing down. We'll do that 2 more times to close out. Woo! Bend the knees, swing down. Last one. Swing down and back up. And we're done. Thanks so much. This was really lovely. Thank you. I enjoy moving with you in this way. Even when we're not together, I feel connected with you in it. I feel grateful for that. Thank you. See you next time. Mwah.